Invite him for this important job.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Kamini. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Now, hope you don't mind I stand here. You know why? I'm a bit short, so I stand there, you cannot see me. Alright? So that's why I stand here, it's better. Now, being a non-rubber expert, I would like your permission before I continue. Is that okay? Now, number one, being a non-expert in rubber, I want to say something which is fun, entertaining, and provocative. You like that? Right?
Yes.
Are you willing to be provocative and provoked? Right?
Yes.
And I'll make you laugh. Is it okay?
Yes.
Is it okay to make you laugh? Yeah. Secondly, I'll be very unconventional compared to the other speakers. Being a non-expert, so I cannot speak like that. Expert, so I speak like all non-expert, so very unconventional. And I seek your participation. Is that okay?
Yes.
Number three is that I will give you my vision of the rubber industry, which is going to take off like a rocket. I believe that the rubber industry, natural rubber industry in particular, will take off like a rocket. I'll tell you the reasons why. I give you all the reasons why. Number four, the last one, my vision is that towards the end, I will give you tools to leverage on the global brain so that you can tap onto the best brains in the world to develop the rubber industry. Is that okay or not?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, let's begin.
Respond.
Now, before I continue, is it okay if I charge you up with creative energy and make you laugh? Alright, can you please stand? Because I think you're sitting too long and listening to very serious subjects, right? I specially created this rubber laughter for you. No other way, the rubber laughter. So what's the rubber laughter? You just point your forehead, you say, creative and wise mind. Creative and wise mind.
Creative and wise mind.
Creative and wise mind.
Secondly, bounce the ball. Imagine the ball, you bounce from left hand to right hand, bounce the ball. Alright? And in doing so, bouncing ideas and all that, you grow the rubber industry.
Grow the rubber industry.
Grow the rubber industry.
Grow the rubber industry.
Bringing safety, prosperity, and harmony to the world. Right? So if you've done that, what happened? Are you happy?
Yes.
Throw your head back and say and laugh. Okay, can you do one more time? Can you do one more time? Can you remember?
Creative and wise mind.
What else?
Bounce ideas.
Grow
the rubber industry.
And then to bring safety, harmony, happiness to the people of the world. Alright? And because you did that, you're very happy, you laugh. Okay, can you give a high 10 to 3 people around you before you sit down?
And now we're charged. And now we're not sleeping.
Now you're charged. Show the next slide. I told you I'll be provocative. The first person who can guess correctly what these women are experiencing will get a free copy of my book worth 40 ringgit. That will set the tone for my talk today. What are these women experiencing? Yes?
Shock.
Orgasm.
Shock.
Okay, any more guesses?
Michael Jackson punya ni. Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yes?
Pain.
Pain. Okay, any more?
Fear.
Fear. Dr. YKK, guess? Surprise. I'm waiting to give my book away, but so far none of the above. No one guessed correctly. Anybody wants to try? Prosthetic. Yes? Sir.
Confused.
Confused? Huh? Sorry? Excitement.
She just said, oh, someone said it.
Can you try to imitate that?
Wonderful.
What is that?
Sleepy.
It's a pre-sneeze. Alright?
Oh, pre-sneeze.
That's how a pre-sneeze, not a sneeze yet, you're building up to a sneeze. That's the expression, isn't it? Agree or not? Right? Those photos are taken
Pre-sneeze.
pre-sneeze
That's a good
photo.
one.
So with that will set the tone of my talk. Is that alright?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So next one. I don't know whether you can, is it connected to the internet? Your phone, your computer? Oh yeah.
Because the Wi-Fi is not working.
Oh, not working. Now, I learned a lot about innovation from this less than 2 minutes talk by, you know who's this guy?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. And in this less than 2 minutes, a minute plus talk, he revealed the secrets of innovation. And you know Steve Jobs was the most innovative man of the 20th century, right? And not only that, his company is the most innovative company in the world for many years consecutively. And his company, Apple, is the most profitable company in the world. The last I read about Apple was that its market capitalization is $650 billion. Right? More than any entire economy, more than the economy of Malaysia. Right? So, is it good to learn from such a man? Right? Not from me, but from him, right? So he said 4 things. And the key message is that, well, let me start with his quote. He says, good artists copy, great artists steal. And we at Apple are shameless about copying great ideas. That's why the title of my talk is Innovate the Wheel. Don't reinvent the wheel. Because it's not ashamed to copy, but not plagiarize. Copy means to copy essential features. Everyone is copying. There are no original ideas except in nature. You agree or not? Everything starts from nature. The camera came out from how the eyes operate. Flight learned from the birds and the insects. So everything is copied from nature. Right? So there's no originality in human thinking, actually. It all comes from nature. It started, the inspiration, the spark inspiration came from nature. So that's what he says. And he says that take the best of what humans have created and bring them into your organization. Right? Take the best of what humans have done or created and bring it into your organization. For he says that good artists copy, great artists steal, and we at Apple are shameless about copying great ideas. Alright, so that's the message. Next one, please. Do you know why my headlines are all slanting upwards? Any idea? Why is it so?
Just like the stock market, you know, the price goes up.
Yeah, going up. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. It's going up. Because I see that the tremendous future in the rubber industry, natural rubber industry. I'll tell you why. And you see that innovate the wheel, you get awesome economic yields. Right? Spend a lot of time to make it rhyme, isn't it? But wheel and yields. So it's going to give you great yields if you innovate the wheel. Don't copy, don't reinvent the wheel. There are lots of technology already available. Right? For example, I think our friend Mr. Orr was talking about the earthquake invented dampening devices using natural rubber invented 30 years ago in Malaysia. Right? So, a lot of technologies are already there. Okay, next one. Now, I created what I call a named Quick. How many of you heard of AIRRDB? Anyone? Right? The rest of you haven't heard of AIRRDB? This is the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. And 57 countries have signed up as founder members. And if you see the map there, have you got this pointer? You see the point, you can see here This is the maritime Silk Road, or you call it the belt, and this is the old Silk Road, which has going to be revitalized. And what is the connection between AIRB and the Silk Road? There are trillions of dollars worth of construction projects, and they are going to be launched end of this year and operational next year. And you know how the AIRB operates? Suppose India want to build a new, or Sri Lanka want to build a new harbor. You say you want $20 billion or $10 billion to build that. And you ask the bank will lend you. You don't have to pay anything. You just share your profits. But you build a harbor, when the ship comes in, you get certain charges, you share with the bank. Is that fantastic? Will that change the world? What do you think? Will it change the world? There are $1 trillion worth of projects here. And every construction, what do they need? Infrastructure, bridges, buildings, harbors, airports, and all the infrastructure, dams and all that. What is the one product that they need?
Materials.
What material?
Rubber materials.
Yes, rubber, natural rubber, right? Good. Natural rubber. What they need is natural
The
rubber.
rubber workshop.
Right. So natural rubber is very important. So natural rubber is going to be $1 trillion industry, not $1 billion industry. I would be a very good friend of Mr. Orr if I were you, right? His company can grow probably 100 times in the next 2 years. Seriously, let me continue that, tell you why. Right? So everyone must be friends with Mr. Orr, right? Because he is the gateway to $1 billion industry, and he is the gateway to the resuscitation, the glory of the rubber industry, lying in his hands. So it's the most important. Turn around and give him a big hand. Before you forget how it looks like. Okay. Now.
But you must make sure smallholders produce rubber.
Yeah, then that will revive all the smallholding, all the problems will be solved, right, with this. Now, the thing is that he has talked about earthquakes. And earthquakes now, and you say that that's retrofitting construction, and you see the rhyme, seismic navigation, retrofitting construction. Do they rhyme? Right? I purposely created words like that so that they rhyme, easy to remember. I've done some research on the internet regarding earthquakes. And one thing that Mr. Orr did not mention, which I was very surprised, you know how to retrofit as an existing building to withstand earthquake? What do you think? Is it the bottom or the top? Bottom. What do you think, Mr. Orr? Is it bottom or top?
Basically, it should be at the base.
Basically at the base.
But depending on the building, the availability, if the base floor is too difficult, then we use the top floor.
Yes, that's right. Actually, it's both. I was surprised at that. Actually, the base rubber mounting is for physical forces, right? Okay. And the top, actually, the Taipei 101 building, they have what we call earthquake dampening, and they put rubber on the top floors because they say that's a dampened harmonic equilibrium, disequilibrium, harmonic. I do not really haven't gone deep into it, but I was surprised that sometimes it's contrary to expectation. That's why I showed that diagram just now. The woman, I think all the men were down at one top only, isn't it? Right? All the men have only one top, isn't it? But there's a different perspective. I'm telling you that there's a different perspective, isn't it? It's not that what you think about. So be prepared to think opposite of what is expected. I was doing some research expecting that all the mounting and all that separation, but then I read in Taipei 101 and all that they put rubber blocks on top 2 floors of the building to reduce the harmonic motion, right? So you see, isn't that fantastic? Have you got any rubber products for the top to dampen harmonic motion? Mr. Orr?
No.
So that's a new industry for you.
Generally, tall building,
Ah.
just information. Tall building like 101,
Ah.
they don't use the base because the building itself is very rigidly formed, and the natural period of the building is very long. It's very short, sorry. So it doesn't need to have base isolation. They use the top to dam it because in event of earthquake, the building may swing. Naturally, without even that, the wind will sway the building. That's why they need a top damper.
That's right.
To counteract that wind forces.
Yeah.
That is it.
Good, thank you to the expert. Give her a big hand, give her a big hand. I will try to praise Mr. Ong as much as possible because he's going to be a trillionaire, so okay? Alright, because this is the future. Next one. Now, these are the founding members of the AIIB, 57 countries. Alright, next one. This is about Los Angeles. Los Angeles and the entire coast of West Coast of America, California, is in the San Andreas Fault. How many of you watched the movie San Andreas Fault? No one watched the movie San Andreas Fault? Right? Earthquake movie, very realistic, very fantastic. So the earthquake will definitely happen. It's not if, it's about when. And how many buildings will survive an earthquake around the zone. So there you are. California alone will be billions of dollars market, isn't it? They are now, do you know this or not? Do you know this, Mr. Ong? So I'll give you information, must share in your next time new profits. You know what is this about? The mayor of Los Angeles is now having a legislation, it's compulsory for them to retrofit the buildings because it saves lives. Right? If it happens, it's not if it will happen, it's when it will happen. So he's taking the proactive approach of making it by legislation to earthquake-proof the buildings, existing buildings. Now, what happened? So, what is the message here for all of you here? Sometimes, to promote the rubber industry, it's not about R&D. It's not about reinventing the wheel, right? What is it about? It's about legislation. Are you making use of the internet, the YouTube, social media and all that to promote the cause of earthquaking buildings to save lives, to save property? And save billions and billions, with trillions of dollars in property, lives. Imagine the destruction if it happens. And you say Malaysia is already on the way, isn't it? Discussing the Euro 08 or something.
Euro code.
So Euro code. So what are you going to do? Can you launch on a global scale today? Unlike previously, you must tap into the power of the internet. Because do you know that today, you are more powerful than any emperors, presidents, prime ministers, kings 30 years ago. All of us are more powerful than them. You know why? Because we can have access to knowledge of the world with one click. You get message, you get the knowledge of the world. They do not have that capability 30 years ago. So you see that we are much more powerful. And in our smartphone, we contain at least 10 times the computing power of the project that landed Apollo on the moon mission, Apollo mission on the moon. We have 10 times at least more computing power in our smartphone than the entire Apollo project that launched, sent the first man landing on the moon. So you see, we have so much incredible power. But are you tapping into this power? Like how many of you make use of the internet? All of you make use of the internet? I spend a lot of time learning more and more about the internet. Right? So it's so important, so vital that you have to do that. So I think that maybe perhaps all of you here, all the professionals, top brains here, is not just doing R&D, but lobby, activate campaigns on making earthquake-proof buildings compulsory. But before you do that, invest in some earthquake business like Mr. Orr, so that you're ready. And spend some energy on improving existing technologies on earthquake buildings. Right? Especially it's easier, the tall building is easier to put rubber on top than to put rubber at the bottom, isn't it? Right? It's much easier. It's quite easy. It's not that costly compared to the damage it will cause. But the solution, as I say, found in lobbying and not just R&D. Because ultimate power lies with legislation. You have legislation, everybody has to do it. No choice. True or not? So if you do such a thing, will your business, the use of natural rubber, all the shareholders will become millionaires. Dr. Brian? Then you solve the smallholder problem, you solve lots of problems. True, because there will not be enough rubber to meet the demand for earthquake-proofing alone, not other things. And earthquake-proofing buildings, is it a low-end or high-end product? What do you think? High-end. You make millions of dollars one project, say, one building, you earn a few million. Don't think of kacang putih, sometimes one condo, how much you earn? Right? Few dollars. But you have one project, earthquake project, you earn a few million. So that is the savior of the rubber industry. Don't you think so? Okay. Now, if you think so, just talk to your neighbor, to the left and right of you, say, I think you have fantastic potential in the rubber industry. Just program your mind first. Okay, just talk to your neighbor, talk to each one, you say, we are going to have a fantastic rubber industry.
It again depends who gets a million.
Right, next one. Now, again, you see there's a rubber innovation, is global elevation. Why global elevation? I already told you, isn't it? By safeguarding the safety of lives, saving lives, it will bring peace, it will help to bring harmony, and it will save the world from destruction by natural forces. Isn't that a global elevation? So you have, all of you here, have a great duty, a great responsibility. Remember, Fireman said, with power comes great responsibility. So all of you have the power to change the world. All of you have the power to save the world from disaster. Because you are the experts, not me. Right? You are all the experts in the rubber industry. You are here at the right time and right place in history. You make a mark in history. All of you, next time, will be remembered as the people who saved the world. The rubber experts are the ones who saved the world. Don't you think so?
Yes.
Give yourself a big hand.
Smallholders.
Next one. Now, I'm going to give you some. It's not good enough to have all the brains in the organization. You need all the brains you can borrow. True or not? And today you can borrow the brains for free. Right. This website, springwise.com. The mission is to discover and share the best innovation ideas from all over the world to promote positive change. So this website has proven business ideas. And all that you need to get a great idea is what? An idea that has already worked. That's why I say don't reinvent the wheel. Innovate the wheel. You go to this website, there are thousands of proven business innovations there. Look at them. Maybe they're not directly relevant, but it can trigger some thoughts into new rubber products, new rubber industry, new type of condom, I don't know, all these things. So it is very important. It's only when you connect something with something unfamiliar, something different, something you never thought of, that you get innovation. True, isn't it? If everyone thinks the same thing, that's not innovation. It's something, this is a trigger for you, and these are the best proven ideas. And those of you who want to be entrepreneur, there are fantastic ideas here too. But sometimes you thought of an idea, you say, wow, it's a great idea, I'm going to be multi-millionaire, I'm going to be famous and all that. But you open this file, these people done it 20 years ago. And by then, you may find that there are even better ideas than what they have. Because the trigger, what you want is a triggering mechanism. And this Springwise will give you a triggering mechanism for ideas. Right, next one. This is a fantastic thing, site called Innocentive. How many of you heard of Innocentive? Innocentive is a multi-billion-dollar company. It's set up by Lilly or something. They're one of the big drug companies. And they have registered 365,000 scientists from 200 old countries in the world. Do you have in the organization, any of you, that number of scientists? So what you do is to offer a prize, depending on your price, and you have the best brains in the world to work on the project. Many of them are retired, 20, 30 years, 50 years experience, and they sit at home, not very useful, not doing much useful, and there's a challenge for them. You cure them of Alzheimer's disease, because once they use the brain, they won't suffer from Alzheimer's disease. Right? You give them satisfaction, you give them the value, contribute. And but this one you have to pay, you have to offer a price. You post on the net, and they will circulate to the hundreds of thousands of scientists from all over the world. Even big companies are using that. Right? So you go to this website, you can outsource any rubber innovation you want. Right? It's called outsourcing. You want to listen to the story? Have I got enough time?
You have 5 minutes more.
Oh, 5 minutes more. Okay, take it. Let's skip some of the important things. You have to see me if you want to learn more. Right? Oh, the best way is to, since nobody wants this book, you can get a copy down there. Normally it's 40 today. Since you all have a bright future ahead of you, I must take good care of you, so I'm only selling for 30. But I've only about 10, 15 copies available. Right? So, next one. There's so much information in the world today. Can you ever keep up with the information? No way. So too much. The problem is that we try to look for information. Don't do that. Let information look for you instead. So let me repeat that. Don't look for information. Let information look for you. So what do? Because you look for information, there are millions of pages. You look up almost any topic, there are billions of results. So how do you filter through the billions of results? My answer is don't. The power lies in asking the right questions. Questions are the answers. So if you ask the right questions, you will get the right answer. This service is free. How many of you have used Google Alert before? Anyone? Oh, that's good. So do you find this fantastic? You see, Google Alert enables you to be the most up-to-date expert in your field. You know why? If you key in the right words in your right type, for example, earthquake-proofing rubber, right? Let's say you search, and then you register. It's for free. It's free. You can do it when it occurs, every hour, every week, every day, or whatever. You choose, and then you're not happy with the result, you can change and change, all free. All right. So what is important is that if you register for Google Alert, whenever anything happens in your field that is posted on the internet, you will be first to know. Would that be great?
Yes.
So you also keep track of developments in the rubber industry. You are the ultimate expert. Next time you go to a seminar, you talk, this is the latest I know. Or people say, how you know everything on the latest one? Because I subscribe, don't tell them the secret. You say subscribe to Google Alert, it's free. That's why I subscribe to Google Alert on innovation. I'm up to date on innovation. Right? When I talk about business innovation, every day I read a few articles. And how many articles I get? At the most about 10 a day, average of 10 or 5 or 10 a day. Is it manageable? It's manageable. But if you search for information, millions of results, how to manage? Alright, so Google Alert is very powerful. If you are not using it, you have to start using it today. Especially you are in whatever industry, you want to be at the top of the industry, you have to subscribe to Google Alert, free of charge. Tap into the best brains in the world, right? Tap into the latest knowledge in the world. Next one. Now, everybody is talking about innovation. But how do you do innovation? Because innovation is very risky, takes a lot of resources, takes a lot of time, and take you away from operation of your business. Operation also have a system, isn't it? So it is very difficult. So we need a system. After studying for more than 16 years on innovation, I think I have solved the problem. All right? And what is system? System is save yourself time, energy, and money. True or not? Without system, it's not repeatable. It's ad hoc. So I developed a system. Next one. This is the system I call. It's called the Dolphin Wave Innovation System. This is the winning formula because there are three key things on innovation. It's about culture, it's about system, it's about communication. And this Dolphin Wave system takes care of all three. And Dolphin Wave system will take you on an upward trajectory, and profits go up, time spent, effort spent, money spent, resources required, and the risk go down. Do you like such a system? And such a system is based on the premise that whatever problem you have today, it has already been solved by someone somewhere in the world, either directly or indirectly. All that you need is a system to find that solution. True or not? For example, I'll give you a story. I'll give you a real case. In the heart surgery, what is the most important thing? Coordination. Right? Coordination is very important for heart surgery. So what happened was that they looked. Where in the world can you find the most efficient and most perfect coordination? Anyone? Where can you find, and you watch it on TV, the most perfect coordination you can find?
Formula One.
Yes, Formula One. Thank you, Dato. It is the pit stop of Formula One. Within 6 seconds, change the tires, load fuel, pump in the fuel, within 6 seconds. So what these doctors do, heart surgeons do, they go to the pit stop to observe them how to work, and then they invite the pit stop people to train their staff. And because of that, the rate of recovery has increased tremendously. Mortality rate drops, recovery rate increased tremendously. So this is innovation. It's not about trying to reinvent the wheel. It's about borrowing the best ideas you can find. Remember what Steve Jobs says? Find out what the best that human have done and bring it back into your organization. This is what the heart surgery did. Are you doing that? So this system of Dolphin Wave has a systematic approach to this. I developed this after 16 years of observing and learning from the greatest innovative people in the world. Next one.
Maybe 2 or 3 minutes if you can finish it off.
Sorry?
If you can finish it off within 3 minutes or so, I think it would be better. You have already taken.
Okay, last one. This is the last slide already. Last slide. So this is the Dolphin Wave Innovation System. If you want to know more about it, my email is there, my Skype address is there, my mobile number is there. So feel free to contact me. I would love to associate with you, especially Mr. Orr, the future trillion